The PlayStation VR, it comes out next week. Somehow we magically got one.
Amazing.
I can't believe it. I had played with this a few months ago on Triangulation, and I loved it because it's more affordable than the Oculus or the Vive. If you have a PlayStation 4 and you have the Move little controllers there, you've got everything you need except for the VR helmet. That's only going to be a couple of $100. $399 for the core bundle, $499 for the launch bundle. You do need a camera and the Move controllers. If you want to buy the whole kit and caboodle, if you don't have a PlayStation 4, $800. You're going to play Office Simulator, which is a great game, while we talk right now to Addie Robertson of The Verge. Hi, Addie.
Hi.
So, here it is, the PlayStation VR. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. In a lot of ways, I think it's probably not my personal favorite system, but it's one of the most approachable ones, and it's at a pretty good price, and they've got a decent catalog.
Put it in context, because the competition is, of course, at the low end, Google Cardboard and Gear VR, and then at the high end, the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift. Where does it fit in that?
So just in terms of bare specs, it's tethered like the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive. It has a sort of more complex control scheme like those headsets. It has an external tracking camera like those headsets. And it doesn't use a phone the way that Google Cardboard and Gear VR and Daydream are.
The computer is the PlayStation 4.
Right.
Is the PlayStation 4 powerful enough, though, to give us a really good VR experience?
It depends on what they're doing. So Sony has a lot of sort of arcadey games, which to be fair, the Vive does too.
Right.
So if they were trying something really, really high-powered, like some Oculus Rift games, I'm not sure it could do it. But I also haven't tried it with the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right. That's the newer, faster one might be a little bit more suited to this, especially with the 4K capability. What about the Move controllers? Some have complained that these, and they are older controllers, are not. Are you having trouble, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
You're stuck. He's stuck. He's got he's using the Move controllers for his hands. That's, by the way, something that Oculus has only just announced and will be available.
Okay.
I think those controllers are important. Do you think the Move lives up to what it needs to be?
I don't think the Move controllers are particularly good. They don't track fantastically, and they're just not designed well for virtual reality. They have a bunch of little tiny buttons. But in terms of just getting people to actually be able to do basic motion controls, they do the job there. And I'm not sure that Sony would have sort of gone out on a limb to make a whole new set of motion controllers. So the hope is just that this does well enough that then they'll introduce a version 2 that actually has something better.
Right. So the real key is going to be the games, right? The catalog of software. A lot of people are going crazy over Tilt Brush, for instance, which isn't even a game, a painting game. That's on the HTC Vive. Office Simulator is also on the, I think this is, Oculus has this as well as the PlayStation. What is the launch set of games and how good are they? Is there anything that's really so great that you'll just, I gotta have it?
So it's around 30 games for the launch titles. I have not played all of them.
What? Why not, Addie?
They haven't sent all of them to me yet. There are some of them we're still waiting on. I've heard really great things about Res Infinite. I enjoyed Thumper a lot. It's probably my favorite game. It's also non-VR, but it's really, really cool in PlayStation VR. It's this sort of creepy rhythm game.
Yeah.
There's also a kind of Tetris-like game called Super Hypercube. That's cool because it kind of takes advantage of VR while still being a seated game, that you have to look around you to see something that's happening behind you to figure out the shape that you need to turn this Tetris piece in.
That's a really, this is an
so it's a really
interesting
clever use of the mechanic.
Yeah. So you have a 360-degree space that you're operating in to do this hypercube.
Right.
Yeah. Very interesting. Huh. I played the game where you're driving down the road with a Staten replica and you're shooting at gangsters out the window. I thought that was pretty fun. I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, the London Heist.
Yeah, that's it.
It's also good.
It's kind of like Duck Hunt.
Batman Arkham VR, I just kind of wish they were longer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's early days. What do you think overall? Is VR a gimmick, or is it long-term going to be a complete change in how we interface with gaming?
I don't know. It could easily be neither of those things and be an interesting niche application that doesn't completely revolutionize games, but that does offer a new way to interact with them in a really cool new category.
Yeah.
I'm hoping at the very least it will be that. I think there's certainly enough out there that you definitely would be missing out if you never played a VR game.
Right.
I don't know if that's enough that you should actually buy something right now, but there's a lot out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd recommend buying it either. It's cool, it's fun, but what I find is after a while, I don't go back to it. It's like, yeah, that was fun. But you're $800 out, you know, and it's something you don't use all the time. I don't find it that compelling yet, but it's early days. We'll have to wait and see.